Hey guys, how are you today? Let's continue with our dividing with decimals. All right, so we were looking at lesson 14, and the whole idea here is the decimal has shown up. Things that we want to keep in mind is, yeah, we're pushing that decimal up. Sometimes we have to add the decimal, and then we have to add zeros to keep that process. So let's take a look down below. All right, let's look at lesson number 15, and let's try a few here. Now, I'm actually going to start with question number 3 because it does kind of work a little bit more off of prior knowledge. In other words, it's kind of like lesson 14 that we saw. So let's see what we've got going on here. We are dividing. So when we set up our division problem, we are dividing by a 5. So that 5 should be on the outside, and that 74 and 3/10 should be on the inside of what we're dividing. So things that we don't want to forget about is the decimal. So you certainly may want to push the decimal up right away so you don't forget about it. Not a bad idea. And then begin your division process. How many groups of 5 can I pull out of 7? Well, I can pull out only 1. So now we multiply. 1 times 5 is 5. We're going to take away and bring down the next number. I guess you could say subtract. All right. Redo the process all over again. But this time we're going to use that 24. How many groups of 5 can I pull out of 24? Well, if I use 5 of them, that gets me to 25. That's 1 too big, so it's going to have to be 4 groups. So 4 times 5 is 20. We're going to subtract, and we're going to bring down the next number. All right, so 43. 5 times 9, 45, too big. Let's drop down 1. 5 times 8, yeah, 40. That's as close as we can get without going over. So when we subtract, we get a 3. We are out of numbers here. So typically, remember we talked about adding a decimal, but hey, decimal's already there. No need to add anything onto it. So we're allowed to simply add our 0 and bring it down, and we smile. Because how many groups of 5 can you pull out of 30? Exactly 6. There we go. 5 times 6 is 30. Show is over. Ta-da! 14 and 8. There's our answer. Okay, so let's go back, and now we're going to look at questions 1 and 2. And here's what we want to focus in on. Look what you're dividing by. You're no longer dividing by a whole number. You're now dividing by a decimal. Okay, one extra step involved here, and then it's going to be business as usual. So, because we are dividing by 9 tenths, that is, you need to put your 9 tenths on the outside and the 7 and 74 on the side. Now we're going to get very mathematical on here, but we're also going to stay very basic as well. So really what you need to think about here is we need that number on the outside to be a whole number. All right, well, it's a 0.9. So you're always going to move it to the far right to make it a whole number. So in this particular case, all we got to do is move it one spot. Because if I move it one spot, now it's the number 9. Well, in math, we like to keep things fair. So whatever we do to one side, you have to do to the other. So if we move the decimal to the right once on the outside, we're also going to need to do it on the inside. So your new number is 77.4. Okay, so mathematically what's going on here? Well, the whole idea is as long as you're consistent with your multiplication and your division, it's legal. Think about it. We can divide both numbers by a 5 when we simplify, and it's legal. Here, we can multiply both numbers by, what do your elementary school knowledge tell you? Move the decimal once to the right. So we're multiplying by a 10. So we're really just multiplying both of them by 10. Now, if you want to think about it from that standpoint, hey, that's great. If you're just like, just got to move the decimal to make it a whole number, and whatever I do on the outside, I have to do on the inside, hey, that's fine as well too. Now it's exactly what we were working with there. So I'm going to push my decimal right away so I don't forget about it. How many groups of 9 can I pull out of 7? I can't pull anything, so I'm going to put that 0 up there. Multiply, you get 0. Subtract, you get a 7. Bring down the next number. Hello, 77. All right, 9 times 6 is 54. 9 times 7, 63. 9 times 8, 72. Yeah, there it is. 9 times 8 is a 72. 9 times 9 is 81, so that's too big. Subtract, bring it down. Oh my goodness. Oh! 9 times 6 is 54. We're done. I didn't need to add anything. Woo! All right. Okay, so big thing here is you do have to move your decimal. Whatever it's on the outside, that's what you have to move on the inside. Some of you guys are going to be like, Mr. Savage, do I really need to do that step? Can't I just do it at the beginning? Hey, listen, if you're going to skip steps, that's up to you. All right. Typically, sometimes people move the wrong decimal. Again, I'm always going to set it up and then I'm going to move here. All right. So now we're dividing by a 3/10. So again, my 3/10 is on the side. All right, so to make this number a whole number on the outside, yeah, we're gonna have to move it once to the right again. Just to kind of show you if it was, I know it's not, all right, but if it was, let's pretend, all right, that it really was 0.003, all right? Then you'd have to go 1, 2, 3, then you'd have to go a 1, 2, and a 3. Placeholders, who's going to go there? Yeah, zeros would. So again, just keep that in mind. That's the, I don't want you always think it's, yeah, we always move it once. We always move it once. No, it just happened to be in that particular problem. Again, much similar to before. We all had to do is move it once to the right. So, okay, so let's get back to where you were just at. And you had your tenths, 11 and 8/10, once to the right, once to the right. So it's really a 3, and it's really a 118. I'm going to push my decimal up so I don't lose it. And let's begin the division process here. How many groups of 3 can you pull out of a 1? Can't take any. So 0 times 3 is a 0. Let's subtract. Let's bring down the next one. All right. How many groups of 3 can you pull out of 11? 3 of them. Yeah. 3 times 3 gives me 9. Subtract. I get a 2. Bring down the 8. Okay. How many groups of 3 can I pull out of 28? 9. Yeah. 9 times 3 gives me 27. All right. Subtract. I get a 1. I do have my decimal already, so I don't need to add the decimal. So now I can add my 0. Like I said, I always like to add 2 of them there. Just, I don't know. I feel like sometimes I have to use it later on there. So I'm going to take care of it. Okay. So how many groups of 3 can we pull out? 3. All right. So 3 times 3 is 9. Subtract. I get a 1. Bring down my next number. It's a 10. Okay. How many groups of 3 can you pull out of 10? Still 3. 3 times 3 is going to give me a 9. Subtract. I get a 1. If I add a 0 and bring it down, I get a 10 again. Okay, people, what's going to happen here? Well, it's the same thing that's going to happen over and over again. This is what we call a repeating decimal because we're going to keep on getting groups of 3 out. So in other words, to shut things down, because you're like, I've had enough. I don't want to keep dividing. Now, I guess you could if you wanted to, but what we use is we use what's called a repeating bar. So it's a symbol. All it is, it's a line. We draw it above what's going to repeat. We're like, listen, we're going to keep getting a 3 here. Okay, I don't know about you, but I'm done. You can keep going there. The 3 is going to keep happening. So we just use that symbol there. So that is your repeating bar. All right. So if you do run into that, that's something you do want to be aware of. All right. Enjoy, people.